Welcome everyone to another episode of the Shop and Tread Talk podcast. We got Frank, as usual, with us here today. Welcome, Frank.
Good morning.
Uh, Today we're doing a kind of a quick episode. We're not going to be doing our lengthy hour this morning. It's 6:36 right now. I was supposed to be up half an hour ago, but the my sleep got the best of me. But we're still going to give her a go here this morning. Today's topic, we're going to do. Employees or team members, how do you show that you care for your people? It really depends on the shop. I do have employees. I personally feel like they're more of team members. Without your team, it's really hard to do anything, right? You don't really have a shop unless you got your team. What do you think, Frank?
You really have to think of it that way. If you think that you're in it for just yourself, you're not going to make it. If you're not in it to decide that, hey, I'm here because of these people and I'm here because they want to help me, you're not going anywhere. A one man show is that's just it. You're a one man show, and
No, definitely. There's so many shops. I mean, we see so many things online and in the forums, one man shop answering the phone, they're turn wrenches, and somebody walks in. I mean, I don't even know how they do it, but I mean, a lot of them they make it work. But you
yeah,
know,
there's a guy in our town. That's all. He's been one man by himself, but you can tell like the work that he puts out. It's he does it. He does enough for himself, and that's it. And I'm like, I guess I maybe just have a hard enough time saying no. That if uh, if work comes in, I say let's get it done, and then I just have to have enough employees to make it work. I couldn't be a one man show. I'd go crazy. I think.
well, it takes a mental and physical toll on you after a while. I mean, I understand, if you got a couple people and someone's sick and you got to do what you got to do, and you still got to plug away at everything, but to do that for multiple years, I mean, I the toll it takes on you, I don't know how some people do it.
Yeah, that's going to be me today. I think pretty sure my employee's going to call in sick today. He was looking pretty rough last night when he went home. I think he'll
Some
be
people
sick
are
today
busy,
in the
Frank.
morning.
Why don't you start saying no?
Well, the work's already booked. The work's been booked for 2 weeks. It's not like I can say no.
Oh, I know.
Now I just have to call customers and say, unfortunately, I just didn't get it done. So,
Yeah.
uh,
No, it's
luckily,
tough, but as long as you've got customers that understand that things happen,
yeah,
that's the main thing, right? They can plan accordingly.
yeah, exactly. Uh, we'll
But
make it
yeah,
work.
like I was saying, with with having help, I mean that also reduces the stress that you have, right? I mean, yeah, I know you don't have a whole lot of employees, but even the ones that you have, at least having someone there, if you need to step out for a few minutes, you can still do that, right?
Yeah, well, we currently have three employees. My wife, myself, my wife, and we have three employees, and we're in the process of hiring two more. And so that's going to significantly increase our workforce, even though one of them is only part time. But yeah, that's so now we've got a lot more people that we got to look after, a lot more people that we got to take care of. That's a
Yep.
lot of stress. Like I think my white beard is going to become really white in the
It's
next
gonna go
little while.
grayer. It's gonna go to half gray, half white.
Oh my gosh, yeah. But I'm excited for it because I like the idea that it's going to take that stress off of myself and off of my wife. And in the same breath, we can provide work because there's a lot out there. So now we can provide jobs for two more people,
Yep.
right? And that's the way I always look at it. I'm like, you have an employee for a reason. The employee is there because one of two things: either A, you can't do the work yourself, you don't know how, or B, you just don't want to. And that's how I
Exactly.
always, when I was the employee, I always thought of it this way: I'm doing the work that my employer, and at that point, couldn't do because he wasn't a mechanic like
Right.
yourself, right? He was a shop owner, a used car dealer, and he, could repair a thing or two, but he wasn't the mechanic. So I always thought of myself as like if I'm not here, not that I was prideful of that, but I'm like, if I'm not here, this work doesn't get done. So he's paying me to do the work that he can't do.
Exactly, exactly. I mean,
And
there's only so much an owner manager can do, and if they're not a tech or experience in that field, I mean, you
yeah,
need reliable people in the back office and the back shop to get this stuff done, right?
yeah. So I've always thought of my people as like I hiring them to do the work that I can't do, right? And
Yep.
and I can physically do it, but I time
Don't
management
want
I
to.
can't, right?
Yeah, no, it comes to a point where you don't want to do it either, right? I mean, you just want to do. You could have 6 or 8 cars booked in that day, and you're only at the point where what I only want to do 3 cars today or 4 cars, and then let the other guys take care of the rest, and you can work on the business, do other things, right? That's like
Yeah,
we were talking last night. Sometimes we look at it for a while. We've basically bought ourselves a job instead of running the business. We're just so busy in the day to day, and by the time the day's done, you're like, "Holy crap! I've just been working in here, busting my
exactly.
butt, and then it's 6 o'clock, and I'm exhausted, and I got to wake up and do the same thing tomorrow all over again."
Yeah, yeah. It's a lot, but this is the life that we've chosen.
Well, I wanted to be in journalism broadcast, and somehow you know, I own a shop, and I mean, you know, full circle moment, and now we're doing a podcast. So at least we're doing something that's a little bit with media, but you know, sometimes you just fall into this business too, right?
I mean, sometimes the business chooses you, right? It's not everyone chooses their life pattern, and life pattern gets chose for them. So, hey, if this is working for you, and hey, we can do the podcast on the side, well,
Yeah,
why not, right?
exactly.
Yeah,
So one thing I make sure is my guys, they know, like, if they have something they want to talk about, they can always come to me. Like, it's an open door. So we got a pretty good culture at the shop. If the guys are feeling a certain way about a situation, or I may have told them that, hey, we're doing this job today, and they may have done the job but maybe not like the job or not like the way I said it. I always tell them I need to know if there's an issue.
hmm,
So the good thing is they can always come into my office. 5 times out of 10, half the time I'm, oh my gosh, well, 5 times out of 10, that's weird. They can always see me because I'm always in and out of the garage as well, right? So we can have those conversations. And
except in
if
the
there's,
wintertime, then you got to go outside in the cold.
oh God, I know. Wha- One day I'm gonna cut a hole right from the office right to the back garage. I don't have to make that walk anymore.
Oh, dude, you should have done that a long time ago. I recently, between our two front bays and our back bay, so
Yeah,
our two front bays are this way and our back bay is this way, and it had one slightly bigger than man door opening into there,
yep.
and I always hated it. So while we were off on holidays, I had a guy come in and cut. It was a concrete wall, so he cut a hole in the concrete wall, opened up the second door there.
Yep.
Oh man, I wish I would have done that the day I moved in. What a difference that has made. It just
With
it
mine's a bit difficult because we've got the office, and then we've got the apartment building that we
Yep.
have, right? And then we got the garages. So we'd have to cut right through someone's probably living room and then end up in the garage. So
Well, you got an apartment back there too. I didn't know that.
yeah, yeah. So we've got 3 apartments, which that definitely helps with the mortgage, that's for sure. But
Oh yeah.
yeah, we got apartments right. The apartment building's right next to us. So when I walk out my door, I'm gonna go around past the apartment building, and then I get to the garages in the back there. So
I see. All right. I
it
see.
really just becomes a bit tedious in the wintertime because we're doing a lot of walking back. I want to go and check someone's car, I want to see something, or if a customer wants to go see something in their car, I'll walk them to the back, and then I'm in and out of the garage. But in the summertime, I don't mind it at all. I like going for the walk with them, and it's another chance, another touch point, right? You get to have a little short conversation
Yeah,
on
that's
the way
true.
to their car before you tell them, like, oh dear God, how have you been driving like this? But it. I don't mind it. I'm so used to it. I've been doing it like this for 5 years. But the shop
Maybe
we
it's
had back in King Street 5 years ago, like we had the whole garage in the office. We opened the door and we're right there. So
yeah,
that was
maybe
really nice.
maybe it's time for a major renovation. They're simple, easy, and cheap. I know all about it. We're just on the end of ours, so
I know. I know. You guys hopefully are going to be into the shop soon.
we're official first day in the office is going to be tomorrow, Friday.
Unless you decide to change the color to pink or something.
Not happening. I don't care. I do not care. It's
I think by this point, Margarita's going to want to open a painting business. This is the second
no,
time now.
no. At the yeah, we actually painted it 3 times.
Oh,
Yeah,
jeez.
and finally
Well,
we changed. Finally, we changed the brand of paint,
yeah.
and that finally fixed the issue. It was just the paint was so bad. So,
Frank, try stop. You got to stop trying to save so much money on paint, man.
dude, we weren't. We were
Do
buying
you,
the
do you order
quality
your
paint.
paint on AliExpress or what?
Yeah, right. I wish probably would have been better. But if you want to know what paint to avoid, you can ask me personally. I won't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways, it's
Should
bliss.
mention you can view the podcast on Facebook. So we got the Shop and Trend Talk podcast. Definitely follow us on there. Reach out to Frank for
That's
all
right.
your painting needs. The new painting business is hopefully going to be up there soon. He's got
Yeah.
so much time on his hands.
Yeah, that's
May
right.
as well put one of those up now.
And I'll say this on here. Just make sure you only buy Benjamin Moore paint. Let's
There
put
you
it.
go. Benjamin
Anyways,
Moore, if you're listening, we're accepting sponsors.
we are currently. Yeah. Anyway, past that, we're back to talking about employees.
There you
Um,
go.
we were talking yesterday. We have an OEA co-op student,
Yep.
and I kind of bounce him around right between jobs, from this job to that job. And so yesterday, I felt like I needed to just explain, be like, look, we don't work as a one man show here. We all work as a team. If I need help on this job, you come help me, or like even my apprentice. Whenever, if I need help over here, you come here. If you need help over there, I come over there. Like yesterday, I was both the guys were working in the bay, and I'm like, okay, well, I finished what I was doing. I walked over in the back room and says, what can I do to assist you with this job? Right?
Yep.
Like I never feel like I'm beneath the point where I can help you do your job. Tell me
Right.
what you need. I'm not
Exactly.
that authoritarian guy that be like, come over and take over the job and then make you feel like, no, no, you are in charge of this job. I'm in charge of you, but you're in charge of this job. How can I assist you with this job?
Exactly. Oh, you're not going to go micromanage them, right?
I I worked under micromanaging for way too long, and I refuse to be that. I cannot. I have to an extent. You still have to do that,
Yep.
but there's a limit to where you need to be a manage. Like you got to manage overall, but not every
Yep.
single detail. Because then you don't.
Yeah.
Then your people don't learn and experience and grow.
Exactly. Yeah. I obviously I'm not a techer. I always make the joke. I got a pink and a purple seal, so I've upgraded myself to a purple seal because I try to catch little things in the garage, and then if I'm right, which sometimes I am, I let my mechanic know. I'm like, hey, I mean, I just upgraded myself to a purple seal, man. I'm
Yep,
getting close to your red seal.
that's right. Yep,
But we got that culture in the shop where I can joke around, and and they know I completely respect the amount of years and time it takes for them to get their red seal license. But we have that culture in the garage where I can just joke around with them. But the amount of training and the amount of time it takes for you and the other mechanics and techs to get to where they are. I mean, that's not a joke at all. It's not just a simple, go to school for a couple of years and hey, look, I'm a mechanic. I mean, there's so much more than that.
well, and even after that, the learning doesn't stop,
No,
and the
it doesn't at
training
all.
shouldn't stop. Like
No.
that's that's one thing that I never got really as training. Like went to some of the car courses that like Napa or CarQuest puts on and stuff like that.
Yep.
That's very minimal training. So that's one thing I told my guys. I'm like, look, I appreciate what you're doing here and you're learning, and I know how much it takes to learn. So
Yep.
I'm gonna send you to training. So actually, in when we're going to tools in the end of April, my guy is going to electrical training in Barrie.
Okay.
Um, so we're going this way, he's going that way, but we're both going to training. And I
Beautiful.
think that that's extremely important to um, keep them a to keep them happy in the trade,
Yep.
and b to keep them current with what's going on.
Interested
So
as
that
well, right? Because sometimes you're not learning anything, then you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over again. There's no change. There's no nothing to spark your interest. That, oh man, oh, I didn't know I could do this with this, or there's oh, I've only seen this tool on YouTube, like a picoscope, and oh, I didn't know you could do that. This is the way you inspect this, and it
yeah,
keeps them interested in the industry and learning. And if you're not learning, you're dying, man.
exactly. We've got this a new tech hired starting in a week or so. And when I told the apprentice about it, he's like, "So is he going to be just doing like the diagnostic?" And I said, "No." I said, "We don't run it that way. We don't have a dedicated. This is your responsibility. Like we don't have just a tire guy. We don't have just a brake guy. We don't have a." I said, "Everybody does everything. That's how I always want my shop to be because I want you to know that I could give you a job and I want to be able to give you a job and you can tackle it and not
Yep.
just be like, I can only give you battery replacements because that's all you know how to do. I refuse to do that. When I was an apprentice and when I was at school, there was one guy there had worked at Toyota for 2 years already. He was a second year apprentice. Had
Yep.
never done anything but oil changes and tires.
Oh
That's
my
all
god.
he did in 2 years. And here I
Jeez.
got a kid straight out of high school, and the first thing I do him is teach him how to take brakes apart, put them back together, and torque them properly because I want to be able to rely that. Well, okay, first thing I taught him is put a car on the hoist, right? But
Yep.
after that, I want to be able to say, hey, take this apart, put it back together, and if I come and look, it's done right. And I
Yes.
want all my employees to be like that. I don't want to have like, oh, you stand around until there's a battery that comes in to get replaced because that's all you're good at, right? I refuse to have employees like that because I want them to appreciate the work and I want them to appreciate the job and love it as
Yep.
much as I've loved it over the years, even though
Yeah.
it's hard and sucks sometimes.
Yeah. You're gonna get team members that I would say specialize in a certain thing. Like, you'll have a person that's very specialized in diagnostics, and they want
Yeah,
to do that all the time, and that's all fine and dandy. But I mean, if something comes in that needs brakes or something like that, I'm really gonna hope that person is gonna be okay doing that, like not just waiting for a diag, right? Because we don't we don't get that very often. Like, our specialty is just general repair. We don't
mhm.
get into heavy duty diagnostics, and I don't promote it either because I don't want to start something that we are not confident knowing we can fix it, right? Because that's just not doing right by the customer either. I
But
don't
if
want to
you
just take that inspection, or sorry, the diag fee, and be like, oh, it's going to be X amount of dollars, and we're going to look into it. But if we're not confident that we're going to be able to get to the bottom of the problem, it's not fair to charge that customer that fee. If we're
exactly,
doing breaks or something like that, I know I can do it and it's going to be this much. But if you've got engine light on, and we scan it, and it's something that we don't feel comfortable doing, I mean, I'm okay telling the customer that this is not in our wheelhouse, because it's I can't charge you 125 bucks or 149 or whatever it is, and not be confident I can get to the bottom of it, because that's your hard-earned money. I didn't make that money. You made it. And if you're going to spend
mhm,
it at my shop, I have to be intentional about your money. I'm not going to be just taking that money and guessing, right? And, throwing parts at it, do a parts cannon. No, I don't want to do that.
that's how I feel about diesel work. If somebody comes in with diesel diagnostics, I just say, I'm sorry, it's just not what we do.
Just send him to Arkansas to Zeb to be like, hey, if you.
Well, I do tell them, but they usually say it's a little bit too far of a drive. But no, it's I like having employees that, yeah, you're right. Like they need to specialize. Well, they don't need to, but if they do, that's great. I
Yeah.
got the employee that's coming, he was the job he had before. He was the gear train guy, like your drivetrain guy,
Yeah.
and he says, I want to do more than just swapping engines and transmissions. And I'm like, well, that's perfect because we do some of that, but we do a lot of other stuff. So
Yeah.
you're not going to be just on one project all the time.
Yeah, he'll be a Chevy Cruze expert by by the end of the year. That's for sure.
Oh, we already got one of those, so we don't need another one. Yeah,
Oh man, you may as well just change your logo, Frank. Change that to a Cruze or
that
something.
that is a Cruze. That is actually a Chevy Cruze right
Oh
there.
my
You see
god.
that? See the wing on there? That's a Chevy
Yeah,
Cruze.
I can see the oil dripping off the logo from here, Frank.
Oh man, yeah. No, I like my employees to know that they're appreciated. That when they do a job,
Yeah.
I'm thankful that they did the job. I'm thankful that they were able to do it. And I think somewhere on one of the Facebook pages, I think on changing the podcast or something like that, they were talking about what do you consider as shop tools, like what can be considered as shop tools. And I look at it this way: unless you're basic hand tools and power tools, anything else that you're going to need to do that job, that should be supplied by the shop.
Yeah.
Like I don't expect my employee to go buy his own scan tool. Like
No.
there
No.
should never have to be a position where the
No
employee
way.
should have to fork out money for a scan tool to do a diagnostic.
No.
Or
And I remember. I'm pretty sure I was listening to Jeff Jada Mechanic, and if I'm not mistaken, and Jeff, you can yell and correct me if I'm wrong, but
do it.
I
Yo,
I think he ended up buying his own scan tool. He
yeah,
bought a
yep,
Snap-on Zeus,
yep.
and I think it's because like he got to the point where it's like I can't do my job if I don't have the right tools. So
Mhm.
he ended up buying one, and I mean that's not a cheap item. I think he spent probably 8 or 10 grand on that thing. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
that's
They're
something that the shop he was at should have been providing to him and been like, hey, this is the tool. This is the shop's tool. Use it as you please. This is here to help you do your job. And in turn, you being able to do your job, we can charge the customer to check the car properly and on to the next.
well, and same thing. Like I have no problem if the employee wants to buy a scan tool and use it. Hey, that's on you. That's your money to spend.
For
But
sure.
I would highly recommend before you do that, buy all the hand tools you need first because you
Yeah.
do have a scan tool. Actually, we have like three different scan tools that you can use,
Yep.
right? So it's not like you're without, right? The other one that I seen the other day, that one of the TikTok videos I posted about the old saw light, that flexible light that we had,
Yeah. Yeah.
and one comment on there is like that should be a something that the shop should buy, that mechanics shouldn't have to buy their own. I'm like, I agree with you. Like I actually have that one and three other under hood lights that I have hanging on the wall that can
Yeah.
be used at any time by
Well,
anybody.
they're for anyone to use. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's not necessarily a shop tool. Like that's kind of specialized if you want to buy your own lights and stuff like that. But if you don't have one, yours is dead or whatever like that, there's options to use it, right? So,
But Frank, some techs want to use a certain one, and
yep,
that's something I would say 9 times out of 10 that they have their own that they are comfortable using because when they're doing certain jobs, they've got this one, or they do certain other jobs, they've got this one that they like to pull down and use.
yeah.
But
And when you
uh,
get to something like that, then you have to start buying your own
oh
stuff,
yeah,
right? But in
well,
general,
I told my guys if there's something we're missing in the shop, we'll have a conversation about it, and if we can make it happen, we make it happen. But if it's something that's a big ticket item, then I'll have to see what is in the budget too, right? Because
Mhm.
you know,
What's a budget?
yeah, I know. Yeah, we've done a lot of remodeling. We bought a lot of stuff and for the shop as well, and all
Hmm.
the lighting we put in. So
Yeah,
now that's all over with. So now if we need something, I mean, I'm okay if I need to spend a bit of money to get some extra tools, no problem.
yeah. You gotta make sure that they have the things that they need to do the job that you're asking them to do. Like I would, if I was a dick and I said to my customers, "Yep, I can do that job. And then I go to my employee and says, you're doing that job. And the employee says, I don't have the tools to do that job.
Yep.
Let's say it's a very specific water pump on a, what was it? Whatever vehicle. And you need a special tool to remove the water pump or hold a timing belt or something like that. And be like,
Yep.
well, I gave you the job. If you want it, go buy the tools. I can understand a little bit in the flat rate world where that was a thing. But if you're not in a flat rate world,
Yep.
you should never ask your employee to go buy a specialty timing belt kit tool to do a job that you booked in and said yes to if you don't have the equipment to do it. That's the way I
Well,
feel.
if the shop owner, like for me, if it's if it's a job that we haven't done before or it's something kind of like a one-off kind of thing, I'll go and ask Dave or whatever. I'll be like, hey, look, I've got this job.
Mhm.
Is this in our wheelhouse? And he may say, yeah, it's no big deal. We'll take care of it. But or he'll be like, no, we haven't done it, but shouldn't be an issue. But we'll need this, and then I'll be like, okay. Well, let me look into it. Or
Yeah,
he'll be like, dear God, no, please get that away from the shop now.
exactly.
And I've turned down a lot of jobs, and some people don't turn on any jobs. I actually like turning down some jobs because it makes you feel like, I just avoided a hurricane. Sometimes you get married to that job, and by the time you're done with it, yeah, sure, you made money on it, but at the end of the day, you're like, man, I really hope that thing doesn't come back.
But do you make money on it? So some of those jobs, like I'll say no real fast to anything that's like a BMW, Volkswagen, Audi, or Mercedes or something like that, right?
Yeah,
And I don't do it because it's not that I'm not capable of doing some of these jobs, but I'm like, it's not what I do. Like I did one time and I shouldn't have. I did a timing chain on a 2.5 Jetta and they're on the
okay,
back of the engine. And it's just, I'm not a Volkswagen guy, right? So I don't do that often enough to know that I need this part and that little specific tool and that and that and that. And I did the job for the guys, they're a good customer. And I'm like, after that, I'm like, I did him a disfavor because A, his vehicle was on the hoist for way too long. I did
yeah.
myself a disfavor because of that same reason. And I'm like, it just, at the end of the day, you could have gone and spent a little bit more money. You would have had the vehicle back quicker because I just don't understand. So I feel like I'd rather do the customer the service and say no,
Yep.
take it somewhere else that knows this job and is able to
We
do it
can
more
also farm
efficiently.
the job out, right? We can also go and just sublet it, and,
I
and
do.
you know that Bob down the road works on these day in and day out, and be like, "Hey, Bob, here, how much is it going to cost to do it?" He's going to say X amount of dollars. We can mark it up a bit, and the customer is happy. He's getting the quality work from someone that's done it, 3,000 times.
Exactly. Yeah.
But sometimes, uh, I've done it too, and I'm like, oh man, we can do this, we can do this, and then at the end of it, I'm like, why did I do it?
Yeah. Exactly.
But going back to the main topic here, showing care for your people. I mean, the funny thing you see in the groups. Oh, pizza party, pizza party. It's not only that. I'll buy lunch for the guys, and sometimes it's not pizza. We'll go and get shawarmas or this and that. But you know, it's not only just getting them food and stuff like that. We want to make sure that at the end of the day, there are people. They're like family. So without them, the shop's not running.
Yeah, we got a local Mexican restaurant down the road. Mexican.
Jeez, Frank.
That's me. I'm the Mexican.
I gotta make a clip out of that one right there. Oh,
Do
jeez,
it.
we're gonna
Do
lose
it.
some viewership right away.
Yeah. Okay. I can say that because I'm a Mexican, so we're good. But anyway, we got a local Mexican restaurant down the road, and they get a lot of our business. So when it's time, it's like, hey, let's go buy lunch, and it's like, okay, what do you want? It's like, oh, I want tacos or enchiladas. So
Yep.
we like that. And now that we're gonna have a beautiful new kitchen,
Yep.
it's gonna make it so much better. And yesterday we got this meat guy that comes around. He's literally called the meat guy, the meatguy.ca. There's a shameless plug. Get his, and it's amazing stuff. Anyways, I got meat in the freezer. So I'm going to have an air fryer there. We got a barbecue outside. If you want to make something, if you're hungry, you know what? It's there, provided for you. And
Yeah.
I feel like that's important too because
It's
everyone's
all
got to
the
eat.
little things, right? You can
Yep,
do for your guys. Yeah,
yep. There's
you
always
know.
snacks for the guys if they're hungry. There's drinks or stuff like that. And I just a quick before we wrap up. The shop I worked at, um, we used to always have cutlery, like plastic cutlery.
Yeah,
And I just got so used to it. I'd bring my lunch from home and then I would grab that cutlery and I'd use it and
yep,
pitch it, whatever. Well, one day there was none. So I just, mentioned it and said, hey, you know what? We're out of cutlery. Well, the boss's wife says, oh, yeah. And they had just recently moved. That's the transition that made. They had recently moved closer to the shop. So
yeah.
she's like, well, yeah, we had it there, but we don't really need it for us anymore because we live closer now. So we're not going to be providing it anymore. It's freaking plastic cutlery, and it got cut off, so it no
Yeah.
longer had cut. Oh wow, did that sit weird on me? Like
Yep. Yeah, it's just the little things.
really, it was such a tiny thing, but really, and I was just like, wow, I'm really
it
not
resonated with
appreciating
you.
it.
Yeah, I mean, if we're going to Tim's and stuff like that, I'll always make sure if one of the guys is going, I'll buy it. I'll be like, hey, look, just buy it for the rest of the guys, and
Of course,
it's something small, but they appreciate it because they're busting their butt getting that car out the door for you. So
yeah,
little things here and there, it really helps the team's morale, and at the end of the day, it helps them and it helps you as well, right? Because they're
exactly.
happy and they're not going to go looking around for a job for 25 or 50 cents more. So
Yeah, because that's a waste of time. Yep.
exactly. Well, Frank, thanks for early morning chat here, and
Yeah.
appreciate everyone listening. And if you want to listen to some past episodes, you can always find us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Check us out on Facebook, Shop and Trade Talk Podcast. We'd love to have you on there and continue the conversation.
That's
For
right.
now, we're going to call it a day. Frank's going to work,
That's right.
and
Lots of work to do.
I'm calling it a day. Thanks,
All right.
everyone.
Have a good one.